Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to season 2 of Brewing Live. Now, filling your digital cup with great stuff that matters, brought to you by Teacup Coffee Republic, the home of certified life coaches here in the Philippines. And now, going global. Our physical space is located inside Pioneer Center along Pioneer Road, corner Brixton, and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. And I'm coming here live at Decaf Coffee Republic. Decaf Coffee Republic is open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for dine-in, pick-up, and delivery of your premium drinks and nutrilicious food. Plant-based meal is also available to help keep you fit and healthy, especially during this time of pandemic. For coaching services, just connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 any time of the day and any day of the week. We offer coaching services on demand 24 by 7. Brewing Live Season 2 is another 31-day exploration journey that aims to fill your digital cup with great stuff that matters. Our heart is to serve the community and ignite your space with opportunities for impact, income, and influence. So what I will be sharing to you today is about embracing failure. Yeah. Before that, so I would like you to share with us your hashtag pack my bag moment. So these are the things that you get from our discussion, that it's your aha moment, or the thing that you think that you can already leave um, the discussion because you already have that nuggets of wisdom. And we encourage you to share it with the hashtag pack my bag moment and hashtag decap brewing live, so that we can bless also other people with that wisdom that we get. And let me introduce myself. I am Coach Glacy. I'm a professional certified life coach by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs based in Dallas, Texas, USA. I help people create and develop positivity in their lives so they can be at their best amidst life challenges. I am also a cafe owner, so it's located naman in Mariveles, Bataan, 28th Street Cafe, and we exist to bring the community great and healthy food that can support their healthy lifestyle. We also provide coaching talk and coaching workshop in the community. I am also continuous improvement manager at SLR Philippines. So let's begin. So what is failure? So when you heard the word failure, what's the first thing you think of? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Or what is the story of your failure? And how did the story ended? So if you think of your experiences about failure, so what is it that you have? And from that, how can you see failure? And what is it? What is failure for you? So for me personally, failure from very young age, I have it already, like especially during academic years, and we have it also when we work during the when we work, and also for me, I have also a lot of failure in relationship. So it's like failure is part of our life that it's unavoidable. But what is failure defined in the Camp Bridge? Um, Failure, it says that failure is the of fact of someone or something not succeeding. Or failure is a noun, means like no success. So even on the definition, how they define failure as direct as it is, something as direct as it is something not succeeding, or something not in the expectation or the way you expect things to happen. So it's already bad thing how we will see it. or when we are growing up, how we are being taught by the people around us about failure. So when you have most often situation we encounter failure when we were young. So as I said, when we have during those academic years, even when we were elementary, when we have that failing grades or when we have failed subjects, most of us may grow up looking at failure as a bad thing, and how the people around us treat us after we have that failure. And then failure can also sometimes differ from one person to another, how they view things. One can view a success that someone seeing it as a failure, or maybe some see it as a failure and some see it as a success. And that will bring us again in mindsets and our attitude towards that failure. How about to you? What is failure and how do you see it? So we can see also the things happen when we failed. What happened when you failed? Our bad thoughts or narratives about failure is brought by the consequences when the failure happened. Knowing what are those will lead us to know what we need to change or to counterintuitive. And what's the worst thing that will happen to you when you fail? So we need to answer those questions so that we will really know how is failure for us or what is failure for us. So now, what does embracing failure mean? So if we are seeing the negative definition of failure, so why to embrace failure? Why we will embrace that negative definition of failure? So why that? What does embracing failure means? Embracing failure, so it does not mean you are accepting all the negative impact of failure to you. So when you run down your experience from your childhood, now you're working, from what you created in your mind. So it doesn't mean you are accepting all that negative impact of the failure brought to us. Embracing failure, on the other hand, is changing all negative thoughts you have related to failure, renewing old mindsets about failure, and even converting the pain we have in it towards action. Embracing failure does not mean giving up, giving in, or setting up to a much lower standards. Embracing failure is taking the challenge to level up and change your ways or change your strategy. So this means you are going to a higher notch. So what is embracing failure for you? And how are you seeing embracing failure? How do you look at it? Embracing failure is accepting it, accepting the situation, and accepting yourself. Embracing failure means not to fear failure. So it's a thin line. It's actually a thin line between acceptance and fear of it. So let me share you this process that allows me to embrace failure. So now that we know what is failure and what is embracing failure means, so now let's dive in on how we really embrace failure and not to fear failure. Um, we before we go to that four-step process, so let me introduce these questions that will help us build that process that we will need to embrace failure. So the process um, the process start in how you see failure. So remember on our first question, that the failure is also mindset and how you look at it, if it's a failure or it's a success, or how do you define failure. So how you see failure. Next, what do you do after you fail? And then how you look at yourself after failing. So these are actually sequential. Like before you start to do something, how do you see failure first? And then the failure happened. What do you do after you fail? And then you already fail. And then how you look at yourself now after failing. So these are this is where our four-step process to embrace failure comes from. So what are those four-step process to embrace failure? So this is from my own personal experience on how I turn my fear of failure to embracing the failure. So first, so change how you see failure from bad thing to good thing. So remember if you are one of those who grow up thinking that failure is a bad thing, so we need to change now how you see that failure from bad thing to good thing. So what is failure for you? So make your own definition of failure and make it a positive one. If you can see on the dictionary or on the Webster, what is failure, the meaning of failure, and it connotes a negative thing. So you need to define now what is the failure for you. So for me, failure is only signal that tells you to level up and put more effort in what you do. So if I had this failure, it means that I need to work more, I need to level up, I need to change how the way I do things. So that is failure for me. Failure also for me is a step part of the success process. It's not it's really opposite of what they said that failure is no success, or it's the opposite of success. So failure is a part of the success process. So without failure, so there will be no success. Failure also for me breaks the limit. So those limits that once known to you, when you have that failure, you break that limit and you go one step higher, or higher than even higher than the standard that you have in mind, that you thought this is the limit. This is where until I can reach. So when you have that failure, it breaks the limit. It moves it. It moves the boundary that is once known to you. Failure also brings you to greater innovation. So when you fail, is the time that you discover something. Is the time that will allow you to be creative, and that will bring you to innovate to a greater innovation. So I encourage you to make your own definition of failure so that you can embrace failure. According to Albert Einstein, so if you never failed, you never tried. So this one I often use as well whenever I have this um, fear. So if you never failed, you've never tried. So meaning if someone doesn't have failure, meaning he's doesn't trying too much, or he's not really taking an action. Is when you don't move. So if you want to don't have any failure, don't move, don't do anything, you will not have a failure. So if you never failed, you never tried, according to Albert Einstein. Second, use failure to fuel your future success. So from the definition I created, also for me that the success is part of and that failure is part of future success. So use failure to fuel your future success. So What do you do? So that's the question earlier. What do you do after failing? Do you stop, or do you just um, wall up, or you just isolate yourself, or you just give up? So what do you do after failing? Or you're the one who who do more so that you can really use that learnings that you get from that failure. So use that failure to bring you to your success. Don't stop and don't waste that failure. So that failure is precious, and it will take you a lot of even a lot of actions just to arrive on that failure also. So failure is already an achievement because it's one step farther than your previous step. So don't waste that learnings you get from it. And even the great learnings are oftentimes coming from the failure that we have. Harness it and use it. For our third um, step, be ready to begin again. So when we are not starting to do something, when we have that fear of failure, the consequences we are thinking of after is what what if I need to restart? What if I need to repeat all? Um, what if da da da? So be ready to begin again. So there are some failures that needs to change almost everything that we do. So imagine all those hard work that you do, all the even your, even the money that you put in there, the investment that you put, be ready to begin again. And it's okay because the more that we deny it, the more that we delay it, the more works we need to be the more works needs to be done later. So be ready to begin again. Be ready to pick yourself up and be ready to take some new courses of actions from the learnings that you got from that failure you have. Take it as opportunity to start. Take it as opportunity for you to begin again and create again your new path to success. So for our last process, so the question on how do you look at yourself after failing. So for our fourth one, know that failure is not about your self-worth. Do you feel less as a human being when you failed? Your failure will not define who you are nor who you will be. Having failure will not make your value or your worth less. And never let your past failure dictate your future self or define what you can do in the future. Don't let it hold you back from realizing your full potential. You are more than that. You are more than the failure that you will experience, or you are more than the failure that you have before. Know that it's not about your self-worth, it's not about your self-value, and you are not defined by the failure that you have. So what is that one thing you would like to jump in, but you don't do because of the fear of failure? What are those things that you really would like to do, but you don't begin because you're always being blocked by that fear of failure? What are those things that if you will do, what are those things that if you will, if you are to embrace the failure, you will do it, and by this time, you are almost on your way to that success. It's now time to embrace it. Take that leap and create that way to your success. Are you scared or do you fear these words? What if? You don't start because of what if? Are these two words blocking you? So what is it? What is it for you to embrace that failure? Because these two words is more fearful than what if. If only. So we don't want that when we reach that age, that old age, we tell ourselves, if only. If we break those two words, what if, we will not arrive on the if only. If only I do this. If only I have done this. If only I try it. If only I let myself explore. If only I decide. If only I move. If only. So, do you want to say those words after rather than saying now the what if and make yourself stuck or not move? It's still a long way. We know that it will always be a long way. We know that it will always be a journey. We know that it's a process. But unless we don't start, but unless we don't begin, but unless we don't take the step, we never stop. We never start the process. We will go there anyway, so why not start it? Do you want to start now and move, or do you want to stay where you are now? Which one will you choose? Embrace that failure and remove that fear of failure so that you can begin to start your journey to your success, your journey towards your purpose, your journey towards the life that you want. So on top of this, so having positive attitude and mindset. So becoming a positive you will give you that ability to embrace that failure and get that success. Positivity in life allows you to respond with optimism, resilience, and gratitude for different kinds of this situation, even the difficult ones. Positivity in life allows you to take great opportunities of learning in challenges that will foster your growth and development by embracing the failure. Positivity in life allows you to confidently embrace yourself and be at your best amidst challenges. So let's embrace that failure and let's get that success. And I would like to invite you for my coaching workshop. So it will begin November 13, 20, and 27. So we have three sessions. So first is we build that positive mindset and we master that positive energy. And the third is to confidently embracing yourself. So to reserve your slot, contact me at 0998-977-1223 and become a positive you and change how you see things in life in a positive way. Let's stay connected. You can contact me at at my page, Coach Glacy. And on my group, Creating Positivity starts with you. So I'm encouraging you to join the group and be be encouraged with a growth mindset and all the things that block your way to your success. You can also contact me at 0998-977-1223. So thank you. And in behalf of Decaf Coffee Republic and Coach A Coaching Club, we want to thank you all for being part of this journey. You can watch the replay of all episodes from Season 1 to Season 2 inside our FB page of Decaf Coffee Republic and Life Coach Philippines. You can also check on Coach A iConnect YouTube channel for HD copy. Tomorrow, our episode is Night in Shining Armor by our very own Master Coach A. So be sure to join us back at 12 noon. Love bam boom, love bam boom. Thank you. Bye-bye.